It's been a dramatic May 1st holiday in Korea, with the acting president resigning and a Supreme Court ruling placing the main opposition candidate for next month's presidential election on uncertain ground. So first we found out that the Supreme Court struck down a lower court's acquittal of Democratic Party presidential candidate Jae-myung on charges of election law violation. That means the case will be sent back to the appeals court. Only last month, the Seoul-High-Court acquitted Lee of lying when he was a candidate in the previous presidential election back in 2022. Anyone who's punished for violating the country's election law with even a fine of 1 million won or more is restricted from running for office for 5 years, and those who are elected will be stripped of their post. But it will likely take longer than a month for the Seoul High Court to reach a new verdict, meaning Lee can technically be elected as president by then, and it's unclear what impact that would have on his potential presidency. Presuming he does still run in the presidential election, what we can say is that it's likely the ruling People Power Party will use all this to try to undermine Lee's standing. But who will be the PPP's candidate? Soon after Thursday's Supreme Court ruling, it emerged that the country's acting president Han-Duck-soo had resigned, indicating he'd run for the June 3rd presidential election. Han was former President Yoon Suk-yeol's prime minister, placing him as the country's leader after Yoon was removed from office by the country's constitutional court on April 4th. Han himself escaped expulsion as his own impeachment was rejected by the same constitutional court. He announced his decision to resign during a press briefing at the government complex in Seoul, saying, "Thinking of the weight of the responsibility I carry at this grave time, after thinking long and carefully about whether such a decision is, in fact, right and inevitable, I decided that if this is the only way, I must take it." That is being interpreted as putting himself forward as a presidential candidate, ending weeks of speculation just as a new chapter of intrigue opens around Jae-myung.